Alrighty, everybody. Hey, good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining me here at the Atlanta News First Alert Desk. I am Savannah Louie, anchor here at Atlanta News First. You're joining us here on November 2nd. It is 8 o'clock, and we've got your top stories for this evening for the Atlanta metro area. So again, thank you so much for joining us this evening. I want to get straight into it with a pretty big update to a story we've been following for the past several days. Now, authorities releasing new information surrounding a shooting that took place just a couple of days ago. This incident, leaving 2 people dead. All right, let me see if I can pull up the new video that we have here. I'll take my graphic down. All right. So the new information that we're getting tonight is from authorities here, and they are releasing new video. Here's a look at one of our reports from earlier, and their video that they're releasing are of those suspects again in that shooting case. We'll go ahead and play for you the surveillance video. You can see those suspects on your screen right here. Now, again, this all happened just a couple of days ago on, I believe it was October 29th here. So again, just a couple days ago. This was around 5 a.m. on Sunday when three men and one woman had been shot. And again, that includes 2 Georgia State University students. One of the victims is still in the hospital with critical injuries. The victims were bystanders. They were caught in the crossfire, that's according to police. And the shooting reportedly happened after an argument between 2 groups at a gas station. All of this happening very close to the Georgia State University campus Sunday. So here's what we know so far. Police have said that this shooting happened just across the street from the student dorms and the dining hall, right by a racetrack gas station. And so again, as we learn more about this entire situation, including any further information about those suspects, we'll be sure to keep you up to date. Also, police are asking if you know anything, if you recognized the men in that video that we just showed you there, you're asked to please contact police as soon as possible because they are trying to nail those suspects and get them behind bars and justice served. All right, guys, I want to move ahead to another story here. This is a devastating fire out of Cherokee County. We learned that very, very early in the morning, there was a fire that completely wiped out a shooting range. We sent our reporter, Yasmina Alston, to the scene today. She's going to give us a report of what she saw and what comes next for this facility. All right, guys, and again, that was Yasmina Alston reporting there. I want to move ahead to another story here. This is out of Fulton County. I know that we've talked a lot recently over the past several months about the Fulton County Jail, about inmates, about people being reincarcerated, and this just makes this next story all the more relevant here. We're learning about new efforts from city leaders as well as the local university, Morehouse, to help folks re-enter society after they've been incarcerated. DA Fonnie Willis, the person you just saw on your screen there, announcing a new program today, a partnership with Morehouse School of Medicine. After someone is convicted of a crime, they'll go to prison, they'll serve their time. But now, as a condition of a modified sentencing, some people will be rerouted out of the prison and receive specialized mental health care. Now, the folks behind this program say that it gives people convicted of a crime access to a psychologist, a caseworker, and a peer specialist. They also say the rate of criminals reoffending drops to 18% over the first year that this is in place. And the program, by the way, is possible thanks to a $750,000 federal grant. The Fulton County prosecutor, D.A. Willis, says that preventing crimes upstream will help condense the county's entire criminal justice system. So a lot of folks are very optimistic about this program and some of the implications that it could have here in the Fulton County and Metro Atlanta communities. And final story I have for you tonight also has to do with crime. I figured this was pretty important as we are all looking toward holidays, even though it does feel like we have a little while till Christmas. But we're learning today lawmakers and first responders are going to be working together to boost security ahead of the holiday shopping season. Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens and Police Chief Darren Shearbaum gathered outside of Lenox Square today. They had a unified message, and they basically say more officers will be on patrol wherever you shop for your holiday gifts. Yes, that includes Lenox. The police chief also reminded people to lock up their guns. If you keep a gun in your car, don't. He also hinted that the police department is going to be giving away lock boxes in the near future. So a lot to look forward to when it comes to keeping people safe here in the Atlanta metro area. Obviously, we want to make sure everybody's safe all year round, but especially during the holiday season, we know that sometimes criminals can take advantage of all the people who are out and about doing that holiday shopping and taking advantage of people who might also have their guard down. So anyways, that is all I have for you tonight. Thank you again so much for joining me here at the Atlanta News First Alert Desk. And with that, we're going to bring in real quick our meteorologist, Patrick Pete. Patrick, good evening. It is great to see you.
Good evening. It's good to be here. It's good to be inside. It's a little warm out here, in here, and I'd rather be in here than outside.
Oh my goodness, it is a mess outside. It is so cold, and you got me thinking it's only November.
I just remember what the temperatures were like here the last couple of weeks of December. Y'all had a nice old frosty freeze.
And you were up in Boston, right, during that time?
Baltimore, but I'm gonna let it pass.
Hey, either way, it's too far north for me once it gets to this time of year. Let's go ahead and show a picture of the perimeter.
Gorgeous.
A lot of folks out there. Beautiful night. You're right, Patrick. It is really a good night to be in your car, maybe not out on the streets, but inside the vehicle.
Absolutely, with the heater on, because it's a little chilly out there, everybody. Good evening. Happy, y'all know me in the days of the week, Thursday. Happy Thursday. Hopefully y'all are having a fantastic evening. Getting ready for the weekend, so Friday Eve officially. A little chilly out there, but it is a nice evening. Temperatures have slid into the 50s in the city, 51 inside of the perimeter, but once you get outside of the perimeter, you see those numbers are a little bit cooler. We're talking 45 Roswell, 46 Marietta, Ackworth, 49 in Douglasville, same for Fairburn. Meanwhile, low 40s over in Lawrenceville. Check it out, guys. Last night, we saw lots of locations get to freezing. I actually think that we had a couple of areas set record temperatures. Blairsville, one of them, dipped to a record low for today's date, which was very, very cold for the start of the morning. Not quite the same for us here in the city. We only bottomed out in the mid-30s, which is saying a lot because 35 versus 20, 22 for some areas, definitely a nice little spread. So I'm going to show you something, but I'm going to explain it because at first glance, you're probably confused if you're an avid weather viewer. Looking at this map for cold alerts, you can see that in the darker blue, many counties under a freeze warning, including Fulton, Cobb, DeKalb, Gwinnett, Forsyth, Clayton, Fayette, all of the counties surrounding, most of the counties surrounding Fulton County. But then to the south and east, you see the frost advisories for several communities, just because I don't think we're going to get quite to freezing or close enough to freezing for you to freeze in those counties. But then you look at all these other places that are north and west, And being avid weather followers like you all are, you know that normally North Georgia is colder than we are here in, or extreme North Georgia, like in the mountains. They're always colder than we are here in the city. And you're probably wondering, well, Patrick, if we're at a freeze warning here in Atlanta, but Ellijay, that's higher elevation, why are they not under a freeze warning? That's a very simple explanation. So there's something called the growing season. It's the period where things grow outside, essentially. And once you get several freezes, or once you reach a certain date, that date for us here in Atlanta, I believe, is November 20th. But further north, that date's a little bit earlier in the season. Plus, although this was the first widespread freeze, a lot of those higher elevation locations have reached freezing several times already this year. So I say all that to say those communities have reached the end of growing season, so they no longer issue freeze and frost advisories once your area reaches the end of the growing season. So that's why you see all of those counties to the north not under any kind of freeze or frost alerts. Those numbers are still going to be cold for everybody, and we'll get into those numbers right now. So let's break it down. Overnight lows dipping to 29 in Carroll County. Folks in Carrollton going to be very cold for the start of the day. Same for folks in Franklin, closer to 31 in Newnan and Griffin, 32 in Greenville, 30 down in LaGrange. You can see that inside of Atlanta will be in the mid 30s, while other locations around us will dip into the low 30s. Even places like Conyers getting into the upper 20s for the start of the morning. 29 from Danielsville into Athens and Watkinsville. Covington, going to be a chilly start, be near freezing and coming in Dawsonville. Meanwhile, 23 for the start of the day in Blairsville, 26 in Blue Ridge. So very cold air to start the morning. The good news, the forecast will trend a little bit milder as we head into the afternoon. Temperatures will be 4 or 5, maybe even 6 degrees warmer in some locations in comparison to where we were today. I expect us to be actually near 65 here in Atlanta, so that's going to be gorgeous for a couple of hours tomorrow. Despite that, we're going to continue to see this fall-like pattern set up where we see chilly mornings. The afternoons will gradually trend milder as we head towards Saturday and Sunday, which is great news for everybody who's looking to get out, spend some time in the city. Gorgeous sunshine, a few more clouds on Sunday. And then looking down the pipeline, we're going to be dealing with some warmer weather. Temperatures getting back into the upper 70s. I know a lot of folks like me had to pull out that extra blanket last night to go to sleep. Probably going to do the same tonight, but things will trend a little bit more comfortable, a little bit milder as we head into the middle to end of next week, which is great news. Now, we are dry, and that's something that we need to remedy, and I'll show you why in just a few minutes. Let's get you through tomorrow. Walking out the door, you'll want the sunglasses, probably a light jacket, maybe even a medium-sized jacket, because some folks will be a little bit colder than we will in Atlanta. I do think the sunshine will be gorgeous through the afternoon, and that's going to allow for temperatures to climb, finally. We'll get into the mid-60s through the afternoon. 36 degrees for the morning drive. I don't think that's going to be too bad. Don't be surprised if you see some areas of frost. The dogs are going to be a little bit more comfortable with that early afternoon dog walk, as temperatures are going to be near 60 degrees, roughly 1 to 2 o'clock. Not as cold as we were that same time today. And then we'll get to 65 here in Atlanta. 67 in Rome for a high, 68 in LaGrange. And mercy me and Toby Mac hitting the stage tomorrow night at State Farm Arena, 7 o'clock. Not a bad night for a concert. 61 once things are starting off. We'll be in the low 50s by 10, so you're not going to want to leave home without at least a light jacket. I call that sweater weather as well. Temperatures not as cold to start off your Saturday morning. I think a lot of locations are actually going to start off the day in the low 40s. We'll warm as we head into the afternoon. Brunch time forecast has us in the mid-60s, and then I expect most locations to flirt with 70, maybe get a degree or two warmer in places like Athens, Covington, LaGrange, topping out somewhere near 72 degrees before some slightly cooler air pushes in through the overnight. That's going to lead to a trend of more mild mornings as we head into the beginning of next week, with afternoon numbers that are going to be nice as well. Now, I mentioned to you earlier that we've been dry, and a lot of you love the sunshine. Everybody's able to get outside and do what they need to do. But some folks have actually complained as well. Some people have said their yards have needed a little water and all this other stuff. Their cars have needed Mother Nature to wash them off. I'm not judging. I'm just saying. But something that we are also paying attention to is just the amount of rain that we've been getting in comparison to normal. Now, since September 1st, we've picked up about 3 inches of rain. But we should have picked up about 7 inches. So we're about 4 inches at a deficit in Atlanta there have been some other locations that have been a little bit drier. I do think that Northwest Georgia has been a little bit drier than we've been at home. So no wonder when the new drought monitor came out today, we see areas like portions of Chattooga, Floyd counties, as well as Fannin, Gordon, Gilmer, Pickens, under this extreme drought. That's one step down from the exceptional. So something that we're going to watch for. I know that we all hate rain because it slows down our day normally. We hate the thunderstorms and all that stuff, but some of these areas could really use a couple of rounds of rain over the course of the month to kind of get them back to where they should be. And even a large chunk of Metro Atlanta now under at least a moderate drought. That has been extended into Fulton County, so we are at a moderate drought here in Atlanta. Same for DeKalb, Gwinnett, Cobb, Paulding, all the counties around the region essentially there. And you go a little bit further south to Meriwether Troop, that little line. You guys have seen a little bit more rain than us lately, or at least over the course of the last 3 months. So while you're not at a drought yet, you are drier than you should be. So everybody needs rain. So despite us needing rain, I'm going to go ahead and show you the 7-day, which shows no rain in the forecast. We've been watching a couple of systems. There's a warm front that's going to lift through Monday. Looks like that's going to bring clouds. Not much in the way of rain. Not enough for us to even throw 20%. So we're not really concerned about that. Looks like next Friday we could see another system move in. We've been looking down the pipeline, and we have access to a lot of different models, and it looks like our best chance is going to be sometime around the 14th of November. Once again, that's not something that we say officially because that's 2 weeks away. Models can change a little bit. We're trying to pick up on all of the little nuances of all the systems that are going to move through. But yeah, things are just looking pretty dry for the next 7 to 10 days or so, with the exception of that low end chance of rain Friday. So cross your fingers. We could use it. But since we don't get it, let's go ahead and celebrate what we do have, which is going to be nice numbers for fall. Temperatures in the afternoon in the 70s, definitely a win. We're going to be flirting with 80 by Wednesday and Thursday. The morning is going to trend more mild as we head towards the middle of next week as well. Waking up Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning to numbers in the mid-50s, closer to 60 for the start of Thursday. So lots to be grateful for, lots to be thankful for. But of course, if you have any kind of lucky things that you do to get what you want, speak it into the universe so that we can get us some rain here and get some of these communities out of a drought. I'm going to switch over to YouTube real quick to see if there are any questions. Let's see. Okay, free, stay warm inside. Yeah, it definitely feels better inside. No problem, Chris. That is our job, to keep you guys informed. Couple of viewers, they actually watch our streams. They follow our Atlanta News First YouTube app. So whenever we go live, you guys can actually view this too on YouTube. Communicate with us, especially during breaking news, but also whenever you have questions about the weather forecast or weather events that are coming down the pipeline. You can always interact with us here. We're looking at this during the live stream. As you can see right now, I'm watching your comments, and I can answer any questions that you have here, which is different than we can do on the newscast. So that is the purpose of this stream. We do this stream every night at 8 o'clock. So if you follow us on YouTube, you will get that push alert sent directly to your phone, and you can come in the mix. You can ask questions, or you could even say hi or wave. There's a couple of trolls. They hop on there too. They troll us. Every once in a while people like to be petty. You can get on here and be petty with us as well. You catch us on a Friday, we may be a little petty back. But other than that, y'all, it's been a pretty solid day. I'm gonna go grab my jacket because I'm a little cold natured. I'm gonna leave y'all with this 7-day forecast, and you can catch me and meteorologist Fred Campagna at 10 o'clock on Peachtree TV. We'll have the latest on these temperatures for the morning and on this 7-day forecast. For now, I'm going to leave y'all to y'all's Thursday night ritual, and I will see you in an hour and a half.